Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be exploring Hedera Hashgraph, the HBAR ecosystem, and we're going to understand what the tokenomics look like, what is Hedera building, how big is their ecosystem. We're also going to look at the metrics of the ecosystem, and towards the end of this video, I'm also going to give my price prediction on where I think Hedera is going. So make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Also, do me a favor, give the video a thumbs up. We upload every single day of the year to bring you the latest happening in the financial world. So hit subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, comment down below, and let's get right into it. So first up, we need to understand, what is Hedera? Hedera is a decentralized open source proof of stake public ledger that utilizes leaderless asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerance hash graph consensus algorithm. Say that 6 times fast. It's governed by a collusion-resistant, decentralized council of leading enterprises, universities, and Web3 projects from around the world. Hedera's performance-optimized Ethereum virtual machine smart contracts, along with its easy-to-use native tokenization and consensus service APIs, enable developers to create real-time Web3 applications and ecosystems that will drive the future of the internet. Hedera is built differently from other blockchains. It has a high throughput with fast finality, low predictable fees, fair transaction ordering with consensus timestamps, and a robust code base that ensures scalability and reliability at every layer of its network infrastructure. Hedera is governed responsibly by the world's leading organizations to ensure the network is collusion resistant. Now, I know a lot of people have commented through the years, Cryptoviser HBAR, Cryptoviser Hedera. I hear you guys. We have done a few videos, but we haven't really done a deep dive into what Hedera is. And the more that I started inquiring about what Hedera does and is and has the capabilities to do, the more I was actually really surprised. So there's a whole ecosystem already built in the Hedera Hashgraph community. Found below are the permissionless Web3 applications built on Hedera. Connect into innovative startups, decentralizing the web on Hedera. So there's all different types. We have MetaMask, Hashpack, Blade Wallet, the major wallets around the crypto ecosystem. You can see a lot of different projects. There's 7 pages of different projects here. We'll go through some of them. Wildlife Conservation Nonprofit, Acme Labs, digital art and collectibles. You have a raffle system for NFTs on Hedera, a simple no-code solution for creators to shape their limitless potential, gamification platform to create challenges and tasks. You have Cathay Bank, comprehensive banking and financial services within the ecosystem as well. What are some other ones? We have DaVinci Graph, token management suite on Hedera. Let's go to the next page and look at some other applications that are built. We have BitCarbon, fungible tokens based on diamond standards, physical coins, and bars. We have Earth ID, decentralized identity management platform. So quite a bit of different technologies. You got a DEX here, a play to earn gamification of music, earn in-game asset and rewards for playing games, payment portal for artists. So a lot of different integrations that are already in, in production, right? Live on the blockchain. They also have quite a large enterprise application ecosystem. Found below are enterprise applications powered by Hedera. Learn more about the Fortune 500 companies decentralizing the web on Hedera. So you can see this one has 5 different pages. We have a decentralized advertising platform, healthcare, solving healthcare challenges with open data, tokenizing investment instruments such as money market funds. There's another company that does accelerating environmental impact with Web3 and refi. We have this company, Connected Product Cloud by Avery Dennison. You have Archax, which we are going to talk about in just a minute. Archax is a registered digital asset exchange broker and custodian. While we're on this, let's kind of talk about the case study with Hedera, because I think that it is very important to understand what is actually currently going on in the ecosystem. So Archax is establishing itself as a premier trusted partner for financial institutions to participate in the digital asset market by leveraging the transparency of Web3 and distributed ledger technology. Archax's regulated exchange and custody platform is the future of finance. $500 million to be moved on chain in 2024 by Archax. 63 funds are available to be tokenized on Archax, and 7 asset managers actively have been onboarded onto Archax. And so, what else has Archax recently done with the Hedera ecosystem? Great question. Just recently, HBAR Foundation posted this in April 2024, saying, "Today we witness real-world asset history as BlackRock's ICS Treasury Money Market Fund is tokenized on Hedera with Archax and Onera, marking a major milestone in asset management by bringing the world's largest asset manager on chain." Now, this is a partnership, right? Archax is like a connector or a money manager that basically invests in products for their clients. And so they're tokenizing the ownership of some of these funds already, including this BlackRock fund. And so there's been a lot of FUD around this from other ecosystems saying that Hedera is not a BlackRock blockchain. But I mean, you guys just read that tweet. Nothing is misinterpreted from what I've read. I mean, it's very clear what they've done. And that, by the way, the head of marketing at Hedera said we had to wait for BlackRock to sign off to include them in that release or that tweet that I just showed you. So yes, they know. They know, and it's not a surprise that BlackRock would know because BlackRock is testing out blockchain and crypto, right? We know this. They've been doing this for years. So the fact that they're working or that these money managers are putting BlackRock funds on chain and that BlackRock wouldn't know about it, it's absurd. It's really absurd. But anyway, great implementation. And again, look at all of these implementations that they have already. And a lot of people, including me, have not really been paying attention to Hedera or understanding what they've actually built so far, right? Look right here, building diamond investor confidence with security, trust, and transparency with the diamond standard. And you can click into these and learn a little bit more about what they're doing in the Hedera Hashgraph ecosystem. Now, in today's video, we're not going to go that deep because we're really trying to get a general understanding of what Hedera is, what some of the applications they have, and really what the benefits are of this blockchain. So let's understand a little bit more. This is, again, right from the Hedera website. It says Hedera enables seamless tokenization of real-world and digital assets at scale, offering unmatched performance, security, and compliance for thriving tokenized economies. Mainnet accounts have been created so far as over 5 million, 167 million API calls in the last 24 hours, 3.5 seconds to consensus finality. Average cost per transaction, 1,000th of a penny. And so, this open source public blockchain network governed by leading organizations around the world. This is their governing council. And so we click into the governing council, we can see all the companies that are within the HBAR governing council, which looks like 40, including, I don't know how to pronounce that, Aberdeen, BitGo, Avery Dennison, Boeing, Chainlink, Dell, Deutsche Telekom. Wasn't there another ecosystem that was supposed to have a partnership with Deutsche Telekom and then they canceled it? Anyway, you can see more like ServiceNow as well, Nomura. You have LG, IBM, Hitachi, Google, and you can even see they've been members since 2020, right? WorldPay, Zane, Ubisoft. So quite the large governing council for this ecosystem. Hedera addresses decentralization concerns by separating governance from consensus. Hedera's governance design assures no single company, small group of developers, or node operators has undue influence or control over the network. That's very interesting. Members of the Hedera Council share an equal vote in the direction of Hedera's software and services. Hedera improvement proposals provide the Hedera community with the opportunity for input. Unlike other blockchains, Hedera ensures stability for end users with application owners with a no-fork guarantee. The Hedera Council achieves this through technical controls via state proofs. At scale, they say we anticipate thousands of public nodes joining the support of the networks through decentralized consensus and growth. Council members run the initial set of nodes on the Hedera network. Now, we're going to get into the network metrics in just a few minutes here, and also the tokenomics, because that's really important to understand. Is Hedera investable, right? Fair responsibility. All these members of the council have a 3-year maximum term with up to 2 consecutive terms and an equal vote on network and platform decisions. Swirlds, the creator of Hashgraph, has a permanent seat and equal vote. So basically, they all have 3-year maximum terms, 2 terms maximum. So effectively, like Google started in 2020. So we're in 2024. We're already 3 years past. So effectively, either Google is already in their second term or they're not really paying attention to this. Because IBM, look, they've been a member since 2019. We're now in 2024. So that would be 5 years, right? In August, it will be 5 years. So yeah, we're approaching this period where some of these council members are going to get the boot. I mean, even Boeing, August 2019, right? They're almost at the end as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this governance continues to develop and morph as we move forward. And Global Material Science and Manufacturing Company, right? They're using Hadera Hashgraph. Where is it? Right here. Atma.io is a platform that unlocks the power of connected products by assigning unique digital IDs to everyday items, providing unparalleled end-to-end transparency by tracking from source to consumer and beyond to enable circularity. So that's just another use case from one of their council members. And so let's understand how the metrics of a look, right? So this is the Hedera dashboard. I pulled this up for the last 90 days. Total transactions, 9.8 billion. That's pretty big. The average transaction per second is 1,250. And the maximum transaction per second is 8,444. That's in the last 90 days. Now, this is actually pretty good numbers, right? If you look right here, this is the transaction per second chart. I know it's a little bit small. Let's see if we can make it larger. There we go. Let me pull this up so you can see it better. All right. So yeah, this is the chart of transactions per second on the blockchain dating back to January 2024, and you can see it's pretty much over 1,000 transactions per second almost every single day. And this is really good because we know a lot of other blockchains they can only process 20, 30 maximum transactions per second. I mean, if you look at Base, they're only doing 30 to 40 transactions per second. Some of these other blockchains are doing significantly less. But if you look at the high throughput ecosystems, clearly Hadera is up there with the likes of Internet Computer, with the likes of Solana, which has very, very fast transaction processing for transactions per second. So yeah, I mean, that looks pretty good in my view. Total transactions in the last 90, I guess this is the last 90 days. 12 million crypto transactions, almost 1 million created accounts. And then you can see some of the other kind of transactions like smart contract transactions, file transactions. And so, yeah, create to consensus time. This is time to finality for transactions on the Hedera network. Average to create consensus, 3.35 seconds. That's where you get, a certain number of confirmations on the blockchain. Maximum time to create consensus, 426 seconds. So yeah, I mean, that's quite the difference, but I guess this was probably during high congestion. I don't see any blips on this, so I don't know when that actually occurred, that high number. Either way, over here we see active account growth, 900, like I said, almost 1 million active accounts, created accounts, just over 1 million. And you could see this is steadily rising as we've been entering what I believe is the bull market, right? The post-halving of 2024. Hedera services, you can see right here. Hedera services are active topics, created topics, and top 100 topics by the number of submitted messages. I don't really know what that means, so we're going to have to learn about that probably in a future video. You can see the fungible token summary. There's 2,897 active tokens. Most of these were created, it looks like, in the last 90 days. You can see wrapped HBAR, USDC coin, and USD coin. So yeah, and then some other, like, I guess just fun coins that they're playing with. I don't know. And you can see the smart contract summary. There's over 2,000 active smart contracts, 1,688 created over the past 90 days. And so, yeah, I mean, this network activity looks pretty good. I do wish there was a little bit more on the dashboard for us to kind of uh, analyze, but it's pretty decent stuff. Now, let's talk a little bit about tokenomics because this is really important. Now, this is right here, 43 billion coins have already been released. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, 49 billion would be the total supply according to CoinMarketCap. I pulled up CoinMarketCap and I also pulled up crypto rank for the tokenomics, and we're also going to look at the actual HBAR tokenomics on their website. But before we go there, let's understand this. So there's 31 billion currently in circulation, and there's about 19 billion HBAR that are not in circulation yet or are considered unallocated supply. Now, we'll explain what the unallocated supply means in just a minute, but effectively, all of the coins are vested, right? All of them are unlocked. And so, this other area of unallocated supply, it's going to make more sense. This is really for future development of the ecosystem. And so that will be for growth, but that is still a fairly large amount. 40% of the supply is not going to be released, right? And so that's kind of like a little bit of a question mark in my view, because you guys know when I'm looking at investability of a coin, I'm really looking at the tokenomics and seeing how it works out. So that is interesting. So the release supply is about 43 billion. The total supply is about 50 billion. And we're going to get into the breakdown of that in a few minutes here. And then some of these other charts, contracts that were created. Let's see, this is on the 1 week. So let's put this onto, let's put this on the 3 month. We'll stay on the 90 days. So yeah, you can see smart contracts created and you can see when they were created, right? We saw this one in April, a huge inflow, right, of new contracts, 141 contracts. This could have something to do with that BlackRock fund maybe being tokenized, where you saw a lot of contracts being deployed. I'm not really sure. You can see created NFTs, pretty stable throughout the 2024 year. And then they have fungible tokens and the like. So yeah, that is basically the Hedera network. If you guys have a better dashboard service, let me know down below in the comments. But let's understand a little bit more about the tokenomics, because this is where things get a little bit interesting, right? So the Hedera crypto is called HBAR. So the Hedera network was launched with a total supply of 50 billion HBARs. The total supply of HBARs may not be modified without the unanimous consent of the members of the council, those 40 companies we just went over. All HBARs are initially considered unreleased until they're transferred to a user account or an account operationally controlled by anyone other than the Hedera Council. For the purposes of this report, there are two types of unreleased supply. One is called the unallocated supply. That's what we were just talking about. This unallocated supply has yet to be given a particular purpose by the Hedera Council and is generally stored in the following unallocated supply accounts. And then they just show numbers. And the allocated supply has been subject to a decision by the Hedera Council to assign a particular purpose to a specified amount of unallocated supply and is generally stored in these accounts. The unreleased supply transferred to a user account is reclassified as released supply as of the time of the transfer. Hedera does not use or define the term circulating supply. Released supply may be considered one possible method of determining the circulating supply. However, different external parties may apply different definitions to certain HBARs. And I would agree, right? We're seeing here in crypto rank, they just call it unallocated supply. And within CoinMarketCap, it's just considered uncirculating supply. And so it doesn't really matter. The circulating supply is coins, at least from my perspective. Circulating supply for HBARs are coins that are in people's wallets. So the non-circulating supply is the concern, because the governing council can release these in any amount at any time, right? And it would probably not be smart of them to do it, and I don't know that they would do it, but they can, and that's a concern. So what is the release schedule? Hedera reports new and existing allocations of unallocated supply and allocated supply as soon as practical after the allocation becomes effective, but no less than quarterly, so minimum quarterly reports. Related allocations are pooled into allocation categories and reported in the following charts with descriptions for each pool. These allocation amounts are not reduced after the related allocated supply is released and always sum to the total supply. It's very wordy, but if you really want to know, just listen to it again and it'll make sense. So this chart is from May 2023 allocations, as documented in the May Hedera Council minutes, as well as allocations noted below. So they should be updating this quarterly, I would imagine. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It says 2024. So the initial development and costs is 7.74%. Purchase agreements, 25.4%. This is of the total supply. Network governance and operations, 16%. Ecosystem and open source development, 36.5%. Subtotal allocated, that's 85% of all the allocated, and then the unallocated supply is 14%. But we just checked, and we still are seeing 37% is still not released. So why does this show a different number? Well, I'm guessing that they're going to be adjusting this or allocating this in this year, in 2024. Maybe not. I'm not really sure. When I'm doing these research with you guys, like on the channel, like I'm learning with you. So a lot of times we're going to have to go do more research after the video and go do maybe another video after to make it very clear. So, by the way, this doesn't look like a perfect circle. Is that just me, or do you guys see that too? That really does not look like a perfect circle. This one does, but this one does not. Anyway, so you can see the legacy allocation categories, and this is the updated allocation categories. So the previous unallocated supply or non-circulating supply was 31%, and now it's down to 14%. So where did they move these funds? Well, if we look at the previous category allocation, ecosystem and open source development went from basically 24% to 36.5%. So basically it increased by about 13%. That's a huge increase. The rest of these, it looked like purchase agreements slightly increased and network governance and operations slightly increased, but most of the increase was in ecosystem and open source development. So I would imagine a lot of that has to do with, I think it's going to say it here. Yeah. Ecosystem and open source development includes all HBARs released to the community for furthering the decentralization and development of the Hedera ecosystem. The Community Incentive Program and developer grants were early programs designed to incentivize testing of the Hedera network and jumpstart development of essential applications. The Ecosystem Development Program is a commitment to the Hedera Council to significantly empower independent organizations such as the HBAR Foundation and take other actions to further decentralize ecosystem growth efforts. And this is exactly what I saw on one of these pages here. I think it was this one. Yeah, grant funding. Like you can get funding from these ecosystems if you're a developer to help build out the ecosystem. And you can see the Distributed Ledger Technology Science Foundation, they got a grant. The Hashgraph Association, they got a grant. HBAR Foundation, they got a grant. Lumos Labs got a grant. Tribe, connecting tech talents to global opportunities on Hadera. Headstarter, community support for grants and early stage DeFi projects on Hadera. And pretty much all the major blockchain ecosystems are doing these grants, right? We know Ethereum has grant program. Solana has a grant program. Cardano has a grant program. A lot of these, even XRP has grant programs. Some of these ecosystems have grant programs that develop technologies that people use. And there's some that develop technologies that nobody uses, right? And so that's a big difference. But understanding everything that's built out already in the Hedera ecosystem, understanding how big and how vast the governing council is from all these major tech conglomerates that are global, this is actually making me way more bullish about Hedera than I was before all of this stuff about BlackRock fund on or are not on Hedera, right? Personally, doesn't matter whether BlackRock said we want it on Hedera or whether it's just tokenization of ownership of a fund that invests in BlackRock. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. The bottom line is that institutional funds are using the Hedera blockchain along with 40 companies that are global tech conglomerates that are on the governing council, and that they all have a voice. And many of them have been around since 2019 or 2020. And they've been building since. And they're giving money to people to build on the ecosystem. And as we've seen, there is a lot of growth and a lot of projects that are already on Hedera. So this would make sense why they're allocating even more money to this, right? And 31% of the overall supply, I mean, let's do the math on that. Well, 36.5%, I should say. 36.5% of the overall supply. Let's do the math here. 50 billion coins times 36.5% is 18 billion coins. Now, if we multiply that by this price, because that's the price now, we'll just say 12 cents, it's 2.1 or almost $2.2 billion in money to develop the ecosystem of Hedera. That's big. That's big. Now, some of that is going to be dilution because these coins are going to be going from unallocated or non-circulating into circulating or allocated supply. And that will put pressure on the market cap if there's not actual development and deployment of technologies that people are going to use and are going to bring more volume, usage, fees, et cetera, to the Hedera blockchain. And so we're going to have to wait and see if that's actually going to happen. So you can see the following table shows the actual release of the HBARs. And this is shown in kilobars, thousands of HBARs under each allocation, and it shows the release schedule. Now, we're in 2024, and you can see like most of the coins are actually released. But yeah, purchase agreements is basically the same as it was. Oh, this is forecasted. So we'll look at Q1 versus Q4. So you can see purchase agreements have decreased in total HBARs. Or this is a slower amount that is being released, I should say. This is how much was released in that quarter. SAFT fund, I don't know what SAFT funding is. Network governance and operations, 46,000 HBARs were released in that quarter. Ecosystem and open source development, 15,000. And you can see they just got replenished, it looks like, from that change in the unallocated supply and in the ecosystem and open source development that we just talked about. So yeah, I mean, you guys can look through a little bit more. This is basically just summarizing what we just talked about from a data perspective. But yeah, I mean, the tokenomics don't look terrible. I mean, they don't look great because there is still a lot of coins that are not in circulation. But we know that these large companies are going, like, think about like if Google funds a project within their ecosystem, most likely that project has some type of proof of concept or minimum viable product that they can prove, like, yes, this is going to actually be big. We need more to help develop it and get it, to wherever Google wants the technology to go. So understanding how the governing council works and that there is money getting flowed out and that this money is turning into projects that are deploying seems bullish to me. And finally, there's a token service, right? So you can have native tokens on the Hedera blockchain. Public and private blockchains offering tokenization carry the burden of expensive fees or upfront infrastructure costs, low transaction fees, and complexity in managing governance and regulatory obstacles. The Hedera token service enables configuring, managing, and transferring native fungible and non-fungible tokens on the public Hedera network. It offers incredibly high throughput, low fees, and compliance configurations. There's even a native on-chain programmability using API calls for atomic swaps and configuration of custom royalties. And for more complex programming, the token service is integrated into the Hedera smart contract service. So you can use it for payments, financial services, supply chain, energy and sustainability. Here are some projects that are already using these native tokens on the ecosystem of Hedera. And here's some other reasons why. Right? Some of those things that we just talked about. So yeah, when we're thinking about it, right, and we're saying, okay, is this an investable asset? When I look at the top 50 coins, right, the answer in my view is yes. And let me explain why. When we look at the top 50 or top 25, there's a group of 5 cryptos that I'm becoming increasingly bullish on. And I'm bullish on them more because I think they have more potential to get in the top 10, top 15 coins They have more potential for that to happen than for the current top 10, top 15 to stay the same. I believe that a lot of these coins, at least half that are in the top 15, are not going to be in the top 15 during this cycle. And I believe that there's coins in the top 25, top 50 that are going to move into the top 10, top 15 based on the technology, based on their narrative with the technology, and based on where technology is going, right? AI compute, large companies, being involved in large hedge funds, getting their fund tokenized through a money manager on the Hedera blockchain, and so on and so forth. These are going to be the winners, in my view, at least bigger winners than the ones that are already in the top 10 and have to maintain and may not have the technology that these ecosystems have. Everything that we just covered in Hedera, XRP doesn't have. They don't have smart contracts. They don't have cross-chain compatibility. They do have developer grants, but what projects are released on XRP Ledger that people use around the world? There's not that many. And I think a lot of that is also because the traditional finance ecosystem hasn't yet tapped in to that ecosystem fully. Anyway, so when I'm looking at the top 20, top 25, I'm looking at Aptos, I'm looking at Hedera, I'm looking at ICP, Internet Computer, Polygon, and Near. I think these five have the best opportunity out of the top 25 to enter the top 15, possibly even enter the top 10. And many of those coins that are already there may not be able to sustain their positioning because these technologies that we just talked about, Near, Polygon, ICP, Hedera, and Aptos, based on everything that we've researched on this channel, they have superior technology and superior deployment of the technology and usage of the technology than some of the legacy chains that are currently in the top 15. So my personal opinion for my thesis and my investment portfolio is yes, Hedera is investable. Maybe not at this current price. Maybe we need to wait for a dip. I don't know. But it does seem investable. Have I invested any at the time of making this video? The answer is no. But I am monitoring these 5 cryptos because I think that these 5 cryptos have great potential. And if I do start to see some strength or rotation in the market to more upside, I probably will enter positions. This is not a guarantee. And as I always say, nothing I say on this channel is financial advice. These are just my opinions, my strategy, and my thesis for the market. Let me know what you guys think about Hedera Hashgraph. And again, if it goes into the top 10, this means that, just based on the current top 10, it's going to be more than $16-17 billion. And so that would be basically a 4 or 5x from where we currently are in Hedera. Give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss a new video. And I will see you guys on the next video. Invest responsibly, do your own research, and Hedera Hashgraph on.